Hey, this is going to be commentary for the 11th chapter of my book, Metadimensional. The chapter is called Identification Threshold. You can find this book, this chapter in Kindle as an ebook, or listen to it as an audiobook on Google Play, and links are in the description. Okay, so something that happens with this theory once you understand what it says, what it argues, is that the things that you would consider to be difficult either to do or to understand become easy to do and understand, and the trivial things become much more complicated than you think they should be, or even much more complicated than anything else. This is very much apparent in all this, in the idea of, can you breach the wakeful laws of nature, or the laws of nature? We think that this is really, really difficult to breach the laws of nature. Like, it's impossible, that you can't do that, right? It's like that they are, you assume that they are have more authority to determine what would happen than you would have, than you ever ever hope to have. But if you even consider the possibility that you can breach the laws of nature, then you are uninformed, to put it mildly. Well, according to this theory, it's actually the opposite. And it's not just according to this theory. There's something called a quantum eraser. If you, again, I'm going back to the double slit experiment. There is the version of the experiment where you read the measurement in a delay, and thereby changing what should be the past to cohere with the reading you have. Basically, you're changing the past, and all it takes is to make a decision to do the double slit experiment in this fashion. It doesn't require having moving at speeds close to the speed of light. It doesn't require a lot of energy. It doesn't require anything exotic. Just making a choice. Now, quantum field theory will say that's not what happens. That it assumes the existence of superposition, but nowhere is superposition actually manifest in a way that you can actually perceive it, because you cannot perceive two things that are inconsistent, and you will never will. Like, they make a claim that this is possible, but that's not possible. What I'm arguing is that time travel is the mother lode of impossible things to do is at your fingertips, basically, and we know it. This kind of time travel. This is metatemporal evolution. This is the thing that is this is the definition of the breaching of causality, and it's only a matter of decision. The thing that's hard is not that. The thing that's hard to explain is, if it's so easy to do, how come we live in one reality? But still, how do we do it? I mean, metatemporal evolution, if you follow what I explained in the previous chapters, it is changing the fundamental dimension composition of your body space. It changes the objective substrate. It changes the thing that you cannot perceive, that you will never perceive, that you will never be able to confirm anything about it, that even if you can speculate things about it, you can never prove it. So how am I are you um, changing it, and changing it in a meaningful fashion, so effectively, like to just to clarify, if making a decision to make a measurement is the thing that breaches causality, it's nothing. There's nothing about the measurement. Like, it would be beyond naive to think that a measurement is somehow unique, while I don't know, going to the grocery store isn't unique. Every decision, what the double slit experiment shows is not that there's something weird about slits and particles. It shows that everything we do, every single decision we do, has this element of breaching the laws of nature. It's not in the experiment. It's in the decision to make the measurement. It's in the decision, whatever it is. So every time you decide, let's say, even to just look to the side and perceive something a bit different, to move your head a bit, to move your little finger, every decision you make breaches the laws of nature. And actually, should not be a surprise. The very idea that you have the agency to make any choice, that there is free will, breaches the laws of nature by definition, because if there is free will, then it is by definition breaching the laws of nature. If the laws of nature cannot be breached, then the laws of nature determine the will. So the very idea that you have free will means that every instance of you enacting choice, free choice, is a breach of the laws of nature. So, but how do we do it? How do we do it? How do we change the objective substrate? So we're not really changing the objective substrate. We are, experience is still causally independent from the objective substrate. It's causally independent. It's causally independent from all the fundamental dimensions. So it's not creating or destroying or nullifying fundamental dimensions. It just decides which fundamental dimensions it will affect it, or not affect, it will perceive. And so if it doesn't perceive a fundamental dimension, it doesn't mean that it nullifies it. It just means that it doesn't perceive it. If a law of nature doesn't affect you, or you change a law of nature, it doesn't mean that law of nature is not available for other experiential agents. It just means that for you it's not. And the way you go about it is by semantic features, like things that you want and not want in reality. Like, if you want to see the world to your left, then the world to your left becomes tangible, becomes part of what I call the identification threshold. And this is now your reality. Things that are not in it might not exist anymore in your reality. Now, and notice the fundamental dimensions, back to the original, the first chapter. Not the first, but you cannot tell which fundamental dimension is a space, and which is an element in space. Same way, you cannot tell if a memory bit in a computer, in a video game, produces does the calculations for the dimension, and what bits are used to calculate the inner working of an object in that space. So you making a decision to look to the left, look to the right, is the same as injecting a law of nature and ejecting a law of nature, injecting a dimension, a whole dimension, and ejecting it from your reality. For this goes further, and this will continue on. There's more to say about this in the next chapters.